If you're seeing this, there's no coincidence. This is your sign to finally understand what money actually is. You see, money is not a physical thing. Money doesn't even exist. It's just, in most cases, zeros and ones on a computer or pieces of paper that we consciously attribute value to. Money itself is nothing more than an instrument, which is why in banking and in finance, they call it an instrument. They know and understand that money itself doesn't even exist. It's backed by nothing but conscious intent and consciously attributed value. And what does this mean? Well, they figured out a way to create a monetary system based on energy exchanges. If we go back in time, we discover that this inflation system, this system of depression and oppression and financial enslavement goes all the way back to ancient times. They've been working on perfecting this system and fooling us into believing that money has value for a very, very long time. We've bought it hook, line, and sinker. We believe in it wholeheartedly. We believe that there's something there that has real value. The money itself has no value. Only your need or your passion have value. The energy that you exchange, the money is nothing more than a side effect. Let's go back into ancient times. Let's take a look at the ancient Sumerian culture. If you go back into the ancient Sumerian text, we found hundreds of tablets. Well, overall, there have been thousands discovered, but hundreds of them are specific type of tablets. These tablets are IOUs. Yes, the same type of IOU, which is what a dollar bill is considered to be. And so they started looking into this and said, let's read these tablets and figure out what was going on back then. And they found something that was incredible. They found a monetary system in ancient time, thousands of years ago, that had built-in inflation. The way that it would work was like this. If I had a farm and I had wheat, wheat was high value back then. Wheat was actually exchanged as money in some civilizations like the ancient Egyptians. They would literally exchange wheat for currency. So currency was wheat. You can buy things with bags of wheat. Now, these rituals of eating goat and slaughtering animals, they go back for thousands of years. Even down into Mesopotamia, which we know parts of Mesopotamia was ancient Turkey and ancient Iraq. So these tablets were discovered in ancient Iraq, which is now modern day Iraq. And they tell a story. They tell a story of a plan to keep mankind enslaved. If I had a farm with 2 incredible fields of wheat, and now I need to feed my family some meat, so I need to go to the farmer. So I'm going to take 2 satchels of wheat with me, and I'm going to go exchange that for a lamb. Not a big deal. I take my wheat, I exchange it for a lamb, business done. Barter and trade, equal value for equal value. Now, there's a ritualistic holiday coming. A pagan holiday is coming up. And there's a big run on lambs, and I need to get my butt down to the farm to get another lamb because I've got to get this lamb slaughtered and prepared for this harvest and this ritual. So I get my 2 satchels of wheat, I race down to the farm. When I get there, there's been a run on lambs. Everybody's buying these lambs. So by the time I get there, there's not a full lamb left. Now my satchel is going to get me half of a lamb and an IOU, which we have the actual IOUs. We have the physical evidence. This IOU states that you have the value or credit for a second half of a lamb when you come back at a later date once we replenish our supply of lambs. So you say, okay, you take the half a lamb, you drop off the 2 satchels of wheat, and you go back home with the lamb to feed your family. The half a lamb. Now here's where it gets interesting. Some time goes by, And now you really need to get that second half of that lamb. So you get your IOU out of your drawer or wherever you put it back then, right? Your chest. You take it out, you go, I got this IOU. I'm still owed a half of a lamb. You go back down to the farm. You show up with your IOU. Hey, I'd like to turn this in for a half a lamb. Farmer says, supply and demand. There's still been a high demand for the lamb. I wasn't able to replenish them fast enough. So this IOU that you have, the value of it now is only 1/4 of a lamb. So here's your 1/4 of a lamb. You don't get a half anymore. Oh man, I got a 1/4. I give you 2 sachets a week. I said, inflation got you. You head back home with your head down with 1/4 of a lamb instead of a half a lamb. Inflation in ancient times that we have the physical evidence of. We have the actual tablets, the IOU tablets. We have the full stories. They're in the British Museum. But look at this system that they put in place. They attributed conscious value to a stone that had some writing on it in cuneiform. And magically, this stone, because of the conscious value, it was worth part of this lamb. Hope you're following me here. I'm trying to show you the origins of the fallacy of fiat currency. Fiat currency was born in ancient times, not in modern day financial markets. They only copied something that already existed, a system that was proven to increase by inflation and outpace the value of anything you had. And they've kept that system running this entire time because they know that that system will keep you financially indebted to them and always chasing but never quite getting everything that you deserve because you don't understand what money actually is. A lot of people will chase money. You hear that statement a lot, chase money. Man, I'm chasing the dollar, man. I got to go out and get the bag. I got to get this money. Well, right there, they already lost. Most people don't understand that you don't chase money. Money is nothing more than a side effect of an energy exchange. How does that work? Well, let's take a look at it. If I provide a service, so I used to own a big call center back in the day. It's a huge call center, 50 people on the phones calling and selling vacation packages, right? We'd call vacation leads and we'd get them these packages to Disney World. And then it was a great program. I mean, made a lot of money. But let's look at how the money got into my account. First and foremost, you have to have something that you're doing that's creating an energy exchange. So for us, it was calling on leads of people who were interested in vacation opportunities, discounted vacations, pitching those people, explaining the actual vacation to them, what they were going to get, what they weren't going to get, getting them to commit to showing up at these venues, at these hotels and these resorts. And then once we got them booked and committed to showing up at the resorts, our job was done. Now, how does money get in the bank account? Well, because we put the energy in to get those people in a position to book that trip, when the people actually show up to the destination, they complete the energy exchange, and then the hotel or the resort sends us a payment. And they would do this over and over again. We were generating about $140,000, $150,000 a week doing this. But how did the money show up? The money was only a result of an energy exchange. On my side, my call sales team called leads, worked those leads, convinced people to go and book the tickets. We got them set up. Boom, boom. They show up and arrive on the appointed day, which could be months, days, weeks later. And once they arrive, money shows up in our bank account. So then you can begin to understand that money is just a result of an energy exchange. And your awareness to this will make you aware that money has no value, to only focus on delivering energy, good, clean, usable energy that someone else can actually utilize. In other words, if I can provide a product or service and I add value, and someone needs that product or service that I've added value to, then the side effect or the result of that is going to be money in my bank account. You need to understand that frequency is the key to getting into wealth, the key to getting into prosperity, the key to accelerating and moving beyond the level that you're at financially right now. It's all about shifting the frequency. And how do you shift frequency? In this particular case, you're beginning to understand the concept of what money actually is. Now that has shifted your perception, which has shifted your frequency. You have to ask yourself, am I on the frequency of money? And what does that mean? What is the frequency of money? The frequency of money is, am I on the frequency of providing a value-added service or product to someone that actually needs it? Because the secret to making money is to find a need and fill it. Am I finding a need? Am I filling a need with value? And if I'm doing those two things, money will show up in my bank account, guaranteed. It's a way to understand and see finance in a way that you might not have ever realized before. If we were in Alaska and we were hiking and we slipped into a crevasse and we fell down into an ice cave. Now, the dangers of being in an ice cave with no protection and no heat, you'll probably get a pulmonary edema and you probably won't last 24 to 48 hours. But let's say this happened and we slipped into this crevasse and we're down here in this ice cave. Nobody knows where we are. We're trying to get a signal out to let people know we need rescuing. But inside of this ice cave, as we probe around looking for anything that can help us with the situation, we stumble across a huge bag of money. This money has, damn near $1 billion in it. And we found one match inside of a dry matchbox in this cave. We're freezing almost to the point where we're almost in hypothermia at this point. We can't even feel our hands or feet, anything. And we're trying to figure out, what can we do? How can we be saved? If we spend the night here, we're probably gonna unalive or pass away. But we think there's a match. There's $1 billion of dry paper here. We light it on fire. We light it on fire to have enough heat to survive one more day. At the moment that we lit that money on fire, the value of the money wasn't $1 billion. It was life for 24 more hours. You see? The value went from $1 billion to how can we live one more day? We just want to make it through the night. We'll burn this money and we'll roll the dice and see if by the next day somebody finds us. If they don't, well then, we're out of gas. But we'll burn this tonight because we're praying for hope that someone will discover where we are. It's about understanding and seeing what money actually is in a different way that allows you to get the upper hand on it, because you want to attract money. You don't want to chase it. Chasing it is not the way. Chasing it will have you running and scrapping and hoping and begging and wishing and stressing out. And you'll be like, how come I just can't attract this money? It's so close. You can feel it almost. It's like being in one of those wind boxes that looks like a phone booth, and the money is blowing up, and your only mission is to catch as much as you can before you get out. But you're trying to catch it. It's flowing right by your hands. It's right in front of your face, and you're trying to grab it, and you just can barely only grab a few pieces of it. The rest of it slipped away before the actual game ended, and most of the money is sucked back into the system, and you only have a couple dollars in your hand. That's what chasing money looks like. But when you understand that money doesn't even exist, it's only a side effect of an energy exchange. Now you focus on providing value. You focus on providing your passion. You find your passion, whatever that is, whatever you're passionate about doing. You then find a need for that passion in the world. You get on the frequency of what people need. That's the wealth frequency. And when you find people that need what you're passionate about doing, you exchange your passion with them, and that energy exchange allows money to show up in your bank account as a side effect. Money is nothing more than a side effect of that energy exchange. When you get on the frequency of providing value, that puts you on the wealth frequency. If you're in it just to chase money, whatever that particular opportunity is, whatever that business is, you'll be unhappy, you'll be pissed off, and eventually most of those collapse and go out of business. I'm not just making that up. Those are actual statistics based on the government researching startups and entrepreneurship. If you want to be one of the ones that last, that breaks through the 2-3 year cycle and continues on, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. It's so crucial to be passionate about what you're doing, because if you're not, it won't last. To turn that into something that generates and builds wealth and abundance at a higher level than where you are, it needs to be something you're passionate about. Because passion is also a what? It's a frequency. And when you get on the frequency of abundance, you're really on the frequency of living in your passion. That's really what you're doing. You're moving and understanding money and finance in a totally different way. Instead of looking at it as zeros and ones and dollars, you're looking at it as value add and exchange of energy. And when you shift into that mindset, you move into a collaborative mindset over a competition mindset, because you don't believe in scarcity anymore. You believe in abundance. And once you do that, everything is going to change. I guarantee it. These are just some tidbits of what I teach inside the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. So I highly, highly recommend that you go and join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy. The link is in the caption of this video. The link is also in my bio. Join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy with a 4, the number 4, 4bkacademy.com. If you're watching where you might not see a link, or listening where you can't see a link, it's the number 4bkacademy.com. Join the Academy. There'll be over 1,200 incredible people in there to guide you, to help you, to become a vibrating force in the frequency you're trying to obtain, everyone vibrating at the same frequency. My coaching team will be there to help you along the way. I will be there as your mentor. And I also bring in billionaire and multimillionaire mentors along the way as well, to directly teach and directly answer your questions, so that you're not just talking to me all the time. You're getting it straight from some incredible people that have done some incredible things with their lives, and they're also conscious. So again, the link is in the caption or in my bio. Join the Forbidden Knowledge Academy, and we can go deeper into some of these topics, so I can break them down in a way that will show you how you can overcome where you are, get to the next level, and also become the best version of yourself.